Yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Missing Piece. And today we have the preview of UFC 296 to close out the year, and it's going to be an absolute banger. And we're going to start with Tony El Cuckoo Ferguson. I butchered his nickname
Yeah, you did,
versus
yeah.
Paddy the Baddie Bimlet. But here we go.
Yeah,
Kukui,
yeah,
is it?
that's right. Kulkui,
That
El
was it.
Kukui. But yeah,
Will we move on?
that fight is kicking off the main card of a stacked main card. In fact, a stacked fight card in general to end the year off with a bang. But yeah, let's get into that fight. It's a lightweight bout. Uh, we all know Tony Ferguson as a OG veteran, and well, when he does retire, he will be a UFC Hall of Famer. But
hmm
he's fighting a young up and coming fighter from Liverpool, England, in the name
hmm
of Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. But yeah, it's a lightweight bout, and both fighters, obviously, Paddy's coming off a couple of victories of his own, but Tony Ferguson is on a 6 or 7 fight losing streak.
Yeah, I think it might be seven.
Yeah, it's 7. No, it's 6. Sorry, it's 6. His last win, his last win coming off Donald Cerrone back in 2019. So, what? It's been 4 years since his last
Yeah,
victory.
yeah.
So it's obviously it's very unfortunate for him. But this fight, he could potentially get the victory against Paddy the Baddy. But
Mhm.
let's break this down. What do you think the keys to victory are for Tony Ferguson?
I think as his game is very much stand and like fight, where he's very slick with it and doesn't really guard like his face and stuff. But I think that's because when he was younger. I think now for him to win, he has to actually defend a lot better.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
Tony Ferguson's like fighting style in general. I think is very unique to himself, and he's very awkward. Like I wouldn't
yeah,
say he's like he's not a fighter that gets right into your face. He does a bit of both. I think
yeah,
he stands on the outside and the inside, but he uses
yeah.
like different techniques to conventional kickboxers,
Yeah,
Thai
and I
boxers.
think I think nowadays on the older side, I think he needs to start implementing a little bit more different
Yeah,
techniques so that he can
because
protect himself a little bit more.
he doesn't move like he was what five,
Yeah, he's
ten
not
years
as
ago,
fast as he used to be. Like, yeah.
especially when he
So I
was on
think
that insane win streak.
yeah, so I think he needs to I think his defense needs to be up. Probably his cardio, but he's been working with David Goggins,
Yeah,
so
and
that guy's a machine as well. So
yeah, I heard that he's going to be in his corner for this fight as well. So those
his new fitness coach.
those motivational speeches in between rounds, if he does get past round one, will be of
Yeah.
inspiration. But let's see if Tony Ferguson can get the job done. But
Yes. For Paddy, I think his way of winning is trying to first get past the awkward style. Because I think the people that Paddy's fought have been relatively orthodox, whether they're fighters, like boxers or wrestling guys.
yeah,
So I
that's right.
think,
Yeah, I think with Paddy,
yeah.
obviously he's undefeated in the UFC
hmm
because he recently signed for the UFC back in
hmm
2021. So with this fight, I think he just needs to implement his own game style, which he has been doing. I think he has a awkward style himself, but not as awkward as Tony Ferguson. So Paddy probably does need to read what Tony's
Yeah.
doing initially, and then just bombard him with what techniques he has. Obviously, I think he's a very good grappler, whereas Tony Ferguson is also a very good
Mm-hmm.
grappler. So both obviously the fight always starts standing. So and Paddy's striking isn't, I wouldn't say is the best, but it's probably improved a bit. But let's see if he's worked on his striking techniques in this fight, which obviously we'll find that against Tony, because Tony's defensive uh, harmony ain't that good compared to other
Yeah.
fighters.
But I think Paddy also needs to be careful on, I think, his right ankle because he had three different incisions on a surgery around his ankle because he said that he hurt it quite badly in his last fight, and it was
Oh
still
yeah,
swollen, but obviously he was training and stuff. So as long as he gets a good, decent amount of rest in that leg, hopefully the swelling decreases. But yeah, he needs to be careful on that foot.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. obviously us two have. Well, I think us two, or maybe I think I have. Um, we've seen Paddy
Mm,
fight live, I think
mm,
as well, yeah, and obviously he got the
yeah.
job done. But let's see if he can get the job done this weekend. Um, but in terms of fight predictions, I'm edging towards a last, well, probably his last victory because I don't think he will fight ever after it. Uh, Tony Ferguson will get the job done in my
I
opinion.
think if Tony Ferguson wins, he retires. I think if he loses, he's gonna fight until he wins. I don't think he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
retire on a
Because
like a six loss streak. So
yeah,
um,
yeah. I think it's his time. Obviously, I think a lot of people do want him to retire because obviously he's on a six-fight losing
mhm,
streak. But if he gets the job done, gets the win, and then
yeah,
retires and goes off in the sunset, then I think that would be a good way to send him off.
yeah,
So that's why I'm going. But besides that narrative, I'm still going for Tony Ferguson. I think Ganges might have a impact
yeah.
on
I
the
think
way he's been
yeah,
training.
I think he wins for me as well. But I think he goes to decision.
Yeah, I'd say Tony Ferguson
Yeah,
by
I think
decision
Tony
also.
Ferguson
Yeah,
by decision.
yeah, because both fighters are not like crazy finishers.
Ferguson a couple of years ago was a
But
crazy finisher, but I
yeah,
think
100%.
Ferguson now still has the power to knock you out. But I think it's definitely not the same as it used to be. So I think he will win. I think by accumulating points and winning those rounds.
Yeah, yeah. I think that round one will be very interesting.
Mm,
I think round one is probably the more suited for
mm,
Tony, so Paddy needs to be careful. But yeah, we both do think that Tony Ferguson gets the job done via
mm,
decision. So that's our fight prediction for the main card opener
mm,
of the stacked pay per view. After that, well, it's a fight that got recently cancelled. Was between Vicente Luque versus Ian Machado
mm,
Gary. Um, Ian Gary was well, obviously he's been in the media recently for reasons that you may have heard of.
mm,
But he came out. Well, I think his one of his members, well, one of his team members came out, or him probably himself came out saying that I had like a cold or flu, and then it obviously transferred into pneumonia. So
yeah,
obviously the UFC doctors said that, oh yeah, you're not eligible to fight. So yeah, that fight is
yeah,
cancelled. But
yeah. Something's happened in the world of sports, and things don't go your way. It's one of them ones where you can't really do anything about it. It's a cold that became pneumonia. Very interesting, but it happens, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
unfortunate.
So let's see. Obviously, we haven't heard if Luke is still
Mm,
fighting. Um, we'll see if he gets the opponent. Um, but if he does,
mm,
hopefully does. Hopefully Luke does stay on the card. But obviously he's in
yeah,
Vegas, and he gets the opponent on short notice, and then he gets the opponent that he wants to maybe progress him in the rankings. But um, that was a welterweight fight that got cancelled. But another welterweight fight that didn't get cancelled, which is a featured bout of the uh, main
hmm
card, is Shafkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
hmm and I think that one's actually gonna be pure fireworks. Like I think
Yeah, and
from Wonderboy Thompson, that is just an unbelievable kickboxer. Um,
one of the
I
best
think
ever.
definitely one of the best ever um, kickboxers out there, and he's just such a like you don't even know what angle this kick is gonna come from. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes when a guy's about to do a kick, you can kind of read the movement or whatever, or you can see it coming, but you just don't know what is gonna come at you. Like he can fake the kick in a way you think he's gonna go to the head, it comes to your leg or your body, and like okay, or he'll mix it in with some punches and some feints. And he's just like he'll confuse the life out of you. But then you've also
Yeah,
got Shabkat that just doesn't care whatever comes
yeah,
through him. Like if you're in front of him, he'll go right through you. Like it don't matter who's in front of him. You're in my way of me becoming a champion or fighting for a title in the future. I need to get you out of this cage. And that's I think that's the mentality he has. In regards of if it's submission, knockouts, just utter domination in the cage, whichever way he gets it done. But yeah, I think this fight is going to be amazing. That's pure electric.
Yeah, this fight is going to be fire because it could potentially be fight of the night
Mm.
because we all know what Shafka can do. Whereas Wonderboy, looking at his
Mm-hmm.
losses, he's only lost to the
Yeah.
best. Obviously, some names like Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns, Anthony Showtime
Mm-hmm.
Pettis, and obviously Darren Till, which was a close
Yeah.
decision when UFC came to
Yeah.
Liverpool, and obviously he lost to Tyron Woodley,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, at Madison Square
Mm-hmm.
Garden. So, but his wins, especially these two wins against, especially the win against Kevin Holland and Jeff Neal,
Yeah.
were insane. Especially when Jeff Neal, everyone was on about him about 2 3 years ago, saying that this guy's the next up and coming
Mm-hmm.
welterweight. He's going to be the next welterweight title contender. But the way Wonderboy dealt with Jeff Neal,
Mm-hmm.
I think all the judges had it all in favor with Wonderboy
Unanimous.
by
Yeah.
unanimous decision. And I think after the fight, Wonderboy's both of his hands with his
Yeah.
fists were both
I think.
swollen up and
Yeah, I think
broken.
one of his knuckles was broken on one. I think the other one, some metacarpal in his arms were broken. He said.
Yeah. So like that dominating performance against Jeff Neal, obviously his striking is nothing. Nobody else can compete with it. Um, well, probably in UFC history, let alone in the welterweight division. And another victory, obviously Kevin Holland. That we all know what Kevin Holland
Yeah.
can do. He's every year at least he fights at least 4 5 6 times, so he's active.
Yeah.
Um, and the way Wonderboy dealt with Kevin Holland was very similar to the way he dealt with Jeff Neal. So Wonderboy, his striking, his kickboxing, his karate style is obviously insane. But and I think that's the way he needs to implement that sort of game plan, which obviously is his own game plan
Yeah.
from whenever he started
Mm-hmm.
training karate. But Shafkat, 17 wins,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
all by finishes as
Yeah.
well, which is insane. No fight has gone to a decision.
Yeah, so I think it's
This
crazy.
is this
17-0. It's unbelievable.
this is a bad boy fight. I can't wait for
Yeah.
it.
So
But
I
yeah,
think 18-0 submission. I don't think he knocks Stephen Wonderboy out.
yeah, I'd edge it to. Actually, no, I wouldn't edge it. I would think Shafkat wins via. Obviously, I think Wonderboy, his takedown defense is decent.
Mm.
Obviously, Woodley took him down a couple of
Mm.
times. But I think Shafkat, in terms of the welterweight division, his stature
Mm.
is insane. Like he's a he's reasonably tall um for the welterweight division as well. So, and I think he can hold onto Wonderboy because Wonderboy's lean, but Wonderboy's distance management, Shafkat will need to read a lot, especially from the get
Yeah.
go. And I think a 3 round fight probably favors Shafkat because he's a ruthless killer. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he can get the job done early, maybe late in round 1 or round 2. But Wonderboy could give us the upset.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I'm predicting Shafkat to win by submission.
yeah, I think Shafkat by submission. I think second round, early third.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, that fight, we all know, there's a reason why it's a featured bout.
Mm-hmm.
So that fight is going to be absolutely insane. But yeah, going into the first of the two title fights for UFC 296 is between Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval, which is a title fight in the flyweight
Mm-hmm.
division. Obviously, we all know Pantoja recently beat Brandon Moreno earlier this
Yeah.
year. So he's the title holder, and Brandon Royval is coming to obviously take his
Yeah, I
belt.
think Royval is second, ranked number 2. I think Moreno's still number 1, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think Royval can do the job. I think he's also taller than Pantoja because I think people like Royval is kind of on the taller side for the flyweight division.
Yeah,
So I think,
yeah. But we all know that these flyweights can move insanely fast.
yeah,
That's why there's a reason why they're so lean, they're quick.
yeah,
Um, and Royval, obviously, we haven't heard a lot from him because he's not one of those people that was always on social media or talking trash and stuff
hmm
like that. Same with Pantoja, but this fight could, obviously, I think it's a sleeper fight, even though it's a title
yeah,
fight, it's a sleeper fight as well.
yeah. I think people like Brandon Royval, because I think I saw something recently. I had to even search it to see if it's true, but he has 100% takedown accuracy. Like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
no, whenever whenever he wants to take you down, he'll take you down. Although when I did see it, I also saw that his average takedown isn't that high either. But when he does want to, he will get you. Do you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
I think he's quick. He's also taller. I think I think his reach is a lot longer as well. So I think he has a multiple different arsenal to do whatever he wants, like a different skill set to.
yeah,
If he wants to fight on the outside, if he wants to go inside, like he can just do whatever he wants. To be fair,
yeah. I think Royval probably has the what do you call it, like the more techniques to potentially finish the
yeah,
fight. But we can't sleep on the champion. There's a reason why he's beat
100%.
Brandon
Yeah,
Moreno, and I think a lot of people did see it as a close fight, but I think Pantoja, obviously he
mm.
won, but I wouldn't say it was close, like very very close. But I think obviously Pantoja won. He got the job
hmm
done. He's a champion. I think we hear. I think we hear and still.
yeah. I think we're here and still, but I think it'll be very very close. I think this could go. I think
Yeah,
this one could be a split decision. That's.
or go
I
all
think
the
it'll
way.
go all the
Yeah,
way and it'll be as close as split decision or majority decision to Pantoja. But I like
yeah.
seeing upsets,
That
so Brandon Royval, it's your time to do it, bro.
Yeah, I know this flyweight division ever since what Demetrius Johnson left, Henry
Yeah,
Cejudo supposedly retired even though he's back.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, this flyweight division has been very uncertain, especially with the 3-4 fights between Brandon Pereira and Davis Figueiredo over 3-4 years.
yeah,
So that that caused all the contenders be like, oh yeah, I don't know who I'm fighting. Am I fighting these contenders after contenders as the title fight keeps on getting rematch after rematch?
yeah. I think
So
what
this
was it like in the last 3 years? I think they've had three different champions in this division, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, yeah. It just keeps on going back and
yeah,
forth with Moreno and Figueiredo.
yeah. So I think it's nice to see some fresh faces and some new people in here.
Yeah, and it's fair. Obviously, Royval. This is Royval's time to keep on carrying on that chain of flyweight champions. Keep on changing, keep on
Yeah,
changing. But I think I do see Pantoja staying
same.
as the champion and cementing his title reign to for other contenders because they are other flyweight contenders
Yeah,
as well. But yeah, I see Pantoja winning. I I'd probably say via finish, maybe round 4, 5.
yeah. Fair enough. I think it's either round 4 or 5 he submits him, or he I think goes to decision. Honestly, I don't know. I honestly think this can go
Yeah,
all the way.
yeah. Like my thing is obviously these flyweights are very
hmm
fast, and I think obviously Pantoja's had that
hmm
was it a 5 round fight against
Yeah, I
Moreno?
think he went all the way.
Yeah, it was a split decision. So obviously he's gone 5 rounds with arguably the best
Yeah.
flyweight in the past 3 4
hmm
years. So I think he if he does go by decision,
hmm
I think Pantoja wins. If it is via finish, either via knockout or submission, I think Pantoja wins as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we hear and still Alexandre Pantoja, a flyweight champion.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Now on to the big one.
To the
Our
one and
our
only,
gu- our guy,
our boy,
our guy from Birmingham.
the man that we watched beat Kamaru Usman in London. Unbelievable.
Yeah, insane. But yeah, we all know who we're talking about. It's Leon Rocky Edwards
Yes, sir.
versus Colby Chaos Covington for the welterweight championship of the world
hmm
in the last fight of 2023 in this amazing company UFC. Let's go.
Let's go. So, Leon Edwards, just to get it out there, I think if he beats Colby and he keeps going, I think he will literally do similar to what Kamaru did, and I think just clear out the division. But we do have some new
Yeah,
people coming in like Shavkat and
Belal.
Bilal coming up. I think this is in the future, but I think if he fights Bilal, he beats Bilal anyways. But that's a different
Yeah,
conversation for a different time. But we do have people like Shavkat,
yeah,
and obviously we had Hamza that went up to middleweight. But
easy.
if he can come back down, even talks of Islam fighting him at the top. But I think if
Hmm.
Leon Edwards keeps this winning streak up, he'll be up there as one of the best fighters in welterweight after being arguably the best welterweight fighter ever. Obviously, I
Yeah,
know
that's
some
right. Yeah,
people say it's another fighter, but you know, I think people would agree that Kamaru's up there. Um,
yeah, 100%.
so I think this fight is
But
going to
yeah,
be utter chaos, just like Colby's nickname, because I think
yeah,
Colby, even though he's a better wrestler, stands on the fact that he can knock people out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think
yeah,
I
you can. Yeah,
think
yeah,
he went toe to toe wrestling with obviously Kamaru. Like he got ragdolled a little bit, but he was able to defend most of the time and stuff like that. Um, I think I don't think he just wants to go on to Leon and try and take him down and just kind of have that type of a fight style. I think he wants to be like, if you want to knock me out, I'm gonna try and knock your head off as well. So I think, like you said before, this fight starts standing up. So I think it's just gonna be all out from the literal go.
yeah. I think from what you're saying there, obviously this is a well, in my opinion, I think a lot of other people would say as well. I don't know about you. Um, this could be Kobe's last title fight opportunity.
Mm, I can agree with that. I think there's quite a few people that deserve a shot after he's got what,
Plus,
three now.
plus, I, plus, I don't see him fighting other contenders if he does lose this
Yeah.
fight. Because it's what he's waited, what at least a year,
hmm
yeah, more than a year and probably 6 7 months for this
Yeah.
title opportunity because his last fight was against Jorge
hmm
Masvidal. Um, but yeah, we're just literally just talking about Leon Edwards, my flipping hell. If he gets the job done, his obviously there's talks of well, I think he is the backup fighter, Bilal Muhammad. So if anything does
Yeah.
happen, um, Bilal Muhammad's obviously going to weigh in, see what happens there, and then obviously he can step
Yeah.
in. But if Leon Edwards wins, Bilal's there, Shafkat
Yeah.
Akhmadov's there. If Shafkat gets the job done against
hmm
Wonderboy, which is on the same
hmm
card, there's talks of him moving up to middleweight because obviously
hmm
Izzy has taken a step back from the
hmm
sport. Strickland's fighting Duplessis next month, which obviously we'll get on to breaking that down next
hmm
month as well. But yeah, those two fighters are more or less similar heights to
hmm
Leon. And obviously Leon can bulk up, go to 185, and maybe get an opportunity to become a two uh,
Division champ.
two weight champion.
Yeah.
Um, and there's also talks of obviously Islam Makhachev, as you alluded to earlier, moving up because Islam is a big lightweight
Yeah.
himself because he has to cut down. But that's enough of those two fighters in terms of what they can do. But in terms of keys to victory for both, with Colby, in his name, obviously his nickname's Chaos. I think he has to employ that chaos nature because Leon likes to keep everything clean because his striking
hmm
in the welterweight division, in my opinion, is the best right
hmm
now. Obviously, we did say
Yeah.
Wonderboy, but Wonderboy,
I think his
um,
kicks are what really
in
helped him a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like with Wonderboy, I think in terms of entire
Yeah.
history, he's up
Yeah.
there as probably number one, number two, number
hmm
three. But Leon right now, in terms of peak
hmm
performance, which he is in, he's number one
Yeah.
kickboxer in the striker in the welterweight division, and obviously could be in the entire UFC. So Kobe, if he employs this game plan,
hmm
getting Leon's face, because I think second fight when Leon fought Usman,
hmm
obviously we seen Usman ragdoll him a bit,
Yeah.
especially round one to round four. Then obviously round five we all see what Leon's kicking ability can do, headshot
Yeah.
dead. Um, but Colby, he's for his cardio, his
Mhm.
pressure. So and I don't think Leon likes that, because Leon likes keeping everything smooth and quick and fast on the outside, landing those kicks, those jabs. But yeah, I think Colby's only real key to victory is probably employ that pressure, and getting Leon's face.
Yeah, I think that's the same. I think Colby, like we're saying, he's got to go into his face, got to make him uncomfortable, absolutely be in his area. I think Leon, he's got to fight a bit clever to begin with, but as soon as he get hit, tactics go out the window.
Yeah,
Because if you look at Kamaru versus Leon when Leon won the belt, he was for sure gonna lose. Like if that round ended, he would have
yeah,
unanimous
exactly.
decision, straight loss. But so you never know until the fat lady sings. But I think if Leon fights very similar to his last fight against Kamaru, where he was very clean, he was very smart, definitely improved his
Yeah,
defense, definitely improved his ground game. If he can keep making himself, push the boundaries, push the limits, and keep going up higher and higher at each level.
yeah, and we can't underestimate Leon's ground
Mm.
game, because what he's the first and only ever person to take down
Yeah,
Kamaru
and to
Usman.
hold him down there as
So
well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for one thing taking it down, but another thing is holding him down on the
Hmm.
canvas. So we can't underestimate Leon's wrestling and grappling game. So he does employ that
Definitely.
submission
Yeah.
threat, and Colby could, obviously, with that nature of being chaos, in Colby's fighting style, with that pressure and stuff, Colby could potentially get taken down, Leon get on top, and Leon could have potentially won by submission.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So um, obviously that's our guy Leon Edwards from our hometown in
Hmm.
Birmingham, England. So I think it's only right that we do support our guy, and I think he does get the job done.
Yeah.
And we will hear and
We're
still.
here and still, and I don't care if it comes by split decision, majority, unanimous, knockout. All I need to hear is the words "and still,"
Still,
and I'm happy.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, in terms of like actually predicting the fight, I obviously Leon's been talking about
Mm.
um, finishing him, finishing
Yeah.
Kobe in either round 2 or round 3. So we could see early. I don't. He's imagining that he doesn't enter the championship
Yeah, I
rounds,
think they both said that. I think
and
they both said they'll knock each other out early on, and I'm like, you
yeah,
never know. Like Colby's been saying he's gonna knock out Kamaru forever. They never did. Leon does have the knockout power, but he's also a bit rash. Like he can also get tagged himself. So I
yeah,
think,
especially against
yeah,
Diaz.
against
Yeah,
Diaz, he was that fight was just comedic.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
no one knows what's gonna happen. But I think in
yeah.
terms of how they are right now, I think it's decision.
Also, Leon
Yeah,
Edwards by
no, it's by
decision.
decision.
Yeah, I'd probably. I don't think it goes decision personally. I think both fighters don't like each other. So,
Mm.
um, and Leon's very smart. Obviously, I don't think obviously press conference is coming
Hmm.
up. What, tomorrow? Obviously, we all know Kobe's uh, trash talking ability, and he's going to get into people's
Hmm.
faces. I don't even think he's going to get into Leon's face. I think he's going to get into other
Hmm.
fighters on the table.
Yeah,
So, Kobe's going to literally cause a lot of
yeah.
drama. But I see Leon finishing Kobe
Hmm.
in round 3.
Round three, fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I can't disagree with that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But either way, hopefully we will hear and still.
definitely.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's the preview for a highly stacked pay per view, and it's the last pay per
Hmm.
view of the year. That's UFC 296, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington.
Yeah.
Um, it's in Las Vegas, fight capital of the world. Um, we will be watching the fights. Hope you guys enjoy the fights, and we'll be back with a hopefully a happy and exciting review show next week.
Yes.
Right.
See you guys.
See you guys. Enjoy the fights.